Go. Good morning, everybody. Richard here from Velo29, and welcome to the program. So with me is Mark from Revolution Cycle Coaching. Mark, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Richard. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. And for the viewers, Mark's been involved via Velo29 for is this the second year, I think, Mark?
I think this might actually be the third year now. Yeah.
sorry. Time goes quickly.
Yeah.
And Mark, you run Revolution Cycle Coaching, yeah?
Yeah, I'm the owner and head coach at Revolution Cycle Coaching. So I've been working with many different levels of riders for many years, from people that just want to get fit right through to elite riders who race week in, week out, and everyone in between.
Awesome. And you're going to be the brains behind the program, aren't you? Gathering all the data, coaching the riders, and then bringing this all together for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So the idea is that we're going to gather everyone's data from the three groups of riders that we're going to cover in a moment, and then we'll let that run for a few months and just gradually get the data together, and then at the end of the process I'll analyze all the data and track any progress that's been made through the groups of riders that we've got.
So yeah, we're going to get to the end, and we're going to be able to say that specific to the sportive market, this is the tangible benefit of doing different types of training, isn't it? And that's never been done before, to the best of our knowledge.
No, we've had a look about, haven't we? And we can't see that this process has been done on essentially a group of sportive riders at the level that we ride sportives at. So it'd be interesting to see the results.
Super exciting, yeah. So tell us about the three groups then, Mark. What are we looking for?
Well, we've been talking over the last few weeks about what type of people turn up to your events, and there's generally three levels of rider that we've identified, and that's we'd say the first level would be a rider that pretty much does nothing over the winter, hangs their bike up once the sun starts dipping below the horizon, and it doesn't see the light of day until March next year, and then they'll turn up at one of your events and just give it a bash, and and that's great. That's what a lot of people do, and we want to track that any fitness benefits that they've made over the winter, although we both know that that probably will be quite minimal. But we wanted to see how other groups of riders performed as well over this period, and so there will be a group of riders that are following a generic zone-based training plan. They might have picked it off the internet, one of these free plans off the internet, or they might be cherry picking sessions that they picked up off friends or other riders or YouTube vlogs, etc. And they're trying to piece together a training plan based on things that they've heard and seen. So that'll be the second group that we look to track any performance benefits. And then there's going to be a third group which we will actively coach over this time, trying to make the most of their time available around family, work commitments, travel commitments, although that's looking less likely at the moment. But making a bespoke plan based on them and coaching them on a response-driven process. So we'll look at how the training is affecting their progression and mold the training and adapt it over the next few months to make sure that at the end of the process they are in a much better place than they started. So they're essentially the three groups of riders that we're going to be looking at over the next few months.
Okay, awesome. So it sounds very intriguing. And in terms of what we need to be able to benchmark the riders, and I guess that's an entry criteria, isn't it? So how are we going to do that?
Ideally, we're looking at riders who train to power. It's quite easy, or it's an easier metric to track progression. If we were not to use power and we were to say, go and ride your local hill and set a time up the local hill and track progression based on that. For example, there's too many variables to make it a really accurate analysis of how they've progressed over the next few months, because we get to March, for example, and you know from running the Cheshire Cat, there can be snow up hills in March, and various other elements can work against us, wind and that type of thing, that can affect the times up the hill. So ideally we would like riders that train to power, and we would set benchmark figures now at the start of the process, and it could be a 20-minute power test to give an indication of FTP. FTP isn't 20 minutes less 5%, but that's a different can of worms that we won't open now, but it's a good indicator of overall FTP. We'll do a 5-minute test, which is a good indication of VO2 max, because we'll track that. And then at the end of the process, we'll also look at time to exhaustion as well, to bring all of those figures together, because time to exhaustion is an important metric when looking at FTP. It's basically how efficient your body is running, but also FTP gets to a point where it starts to tail off, and that's your time to exhaustion. So we'll track that metric too.
Okay. Sounds complicated, but I guess this is stuff that guys can do on their bikes, at home, on their local rides, and we'll give the knowledge of how to do all that kind of thing, as long as they have a power measuring device. Yeah,
that's it basically. All they've got to do is go and ride their bike. Cool. And it's up to us to look at the data and analyze it and report back at the end of the process. So
awesome.
Yeah, okay. There's a lot of complexity behind it, but that's why we're here to have a look at it and report back up.
Okay. And guys who already work with a coach, no problem with that. We just need to gather their data through Training Peaks, I think you said.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, as long as the data can be uploaded to Training Peaks, which is, Training Peaks is a free software package that anyone can set up a new account. So if they have a coach and they don't want to let us see the data from that Training Peaks account, then they can set up a separate Training Peaks account to upload the data into that we can have a look at.
Super. Okay. And it's free to take part in, isn't it? Which is great news. And to get involved, just drop us an email at events@velo29.com, and then we'll get back in touch. We're ready to start taking people now. We've got loads of interest already, people keen to get signed up. So do get in touch over the weekend, and it starts from next week.
Great, looking forward to it.
Super. Okay, thanks very much, Mark. We're going to do these video, so we'll invite some of you guys to take part in these Zoom meetings as well, so that'll be super cool. We're going to put these out, aiming to do it weekly, just some updates on how it's going, and we'll bring some people in to share their stories and how they're progressing, and Mark will be chatting with the group that we're coaching, and we'll record some of that as well. So super cool, groundbreaking, and we're really excited to work with you guys, so do get in touch. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Richard.
Speak soon. Bye for now.